I press my thumb into Nana Edie's crocheted scarf, the soft loops catching like they want to anchor me to the pew. The chapel smells of eucalyptus spray and lemon polish. On the pedestal sits a single brushed steel urn Nana's. Pop Bernard's service was 3 months ago quiet at the harbor with the drivers. Today is Nana's turn, and because she was the survivor on paper, our attorney will close out both estates this afternoon. One ceremony, two farewells, and the final reading for everything they built. Mom Celeste 54 leans toward the urn and whispers to a photographer, "Get my left side." Dad Victor 58 argues with the funeral director about market volatility fees. My younger brother Dylan 27 scrolls his phone like it's an oxygen tank. I tap my own screen and start a discreet audio recording. Not for drama, for memory. I'm Mara Quinn 31, a school counselor, the steady one. My grandparents raised something steady in me too. Weekends at their Monterey bungalow smelled like bread and salt. Pop ran Reyes Harbor Logistics reefers dock routes, winter runs no one else wanted. Fix things first, he'd say, passing me a wrench. Buy new only when something's truly broken. Nana planted rosemary in coffee tins and believed the truth grows better in daylight. After the service, we crossed to attorney Nora Patel's office facing Cannery Row. Floor-to-ceiling windows, casebooks in careful rows, a bowl of peppermints no one touches. Mom claims the center chair like a talk show guest. Dad stands behind her, palms on the backrest. Dylan hovers near the door, ready to bolt or bask. Nora clears her throat. As executor of the estates of Edith and Bernard Reyes, I'll read their final directives exactly as written. Paper rustles. The language flows formal and exact until she reaches the line that changes air pressure. Their entire estate, preliminarily valued at $29.8 million, transfers to their granddaughter Mara Quinn. Silence. Then Dad, repeat that. Mom's grief face blinks off. There must be a mistake. Dylan's chair scrapes. You always wanted this, admit it. I didn't know I manage. Nora lifts a hand. They anticipate a disagreement. She turns her laptop. A video fills the screen, the greenhouse behind the bungalow, rain pebbling the glass. Pop in a flannel, Nana in his denim shirt, both tired and decided. If you're watching this, Pop says, voice even, we did not change our minds. Nana looks into the lens. Victor. Celeste. Dylan. We love you. We cannot fund cruelty. Mara showed up when there was nothing to gain. She is our choice because she is our truth. The screen goes black. The foghorn outside the window does the rest of the talking. In the parking garage, Dad blocks my path, voice soft as rope. Transfer managerial control to me tomorrow. Keep 10%. I'll take the weight. Victor, Mom coos as if to soften the bite. This is complicated money. We'll shepherd it. You keep doing your school thing. Dylan steps close enough for me to smell mint gum. Remember who held your rent, Mara? Loyalty. I grip my keys until the metal bites. I need time. Dad leans in. I hold the note on your building. One call and time ends on the sidewalk. They walk away confident enough to cast reflections that look almost like love from 20 feet back. My studio is 800 square feet of thrift store calm. A ficus leans toward the one good window. The kettle shrieks louder than it boils. I've just started a go bag when a heavy knock rattles the door. Management inspection, a man calls. My phone vibrates. Nora. Don't open, she says. I filed emergency protections, but they may try to lock you out. Go now. I'll meet you at the Reyes house. Fog ropes the highway as I drive Ocean View. The bungalow sits behind cypress shingles dark with mist. The gate creaks and Tomas Rivera cap low, straight-backed steps onto the porch. Ms. Quinn, I'm Tomas. 14 years on the house and grounds. His voice warms. Welcome home. Inside smells like lemon oil and cinnamon, Nana's default weather. The kitchen table is nicked in a constellation Pop used to trace. Nothing here performs. Everything functions. Tomas presses a small brass key into my palm. She asked me to give you this if things went like this. He leads me to Pop's paneled office route maps pinned above the desk, a window over rosemary and coffee tins. Bottom left, he says. The key turns. A hidden drawer slides open, a leather journal in Nana's hand, and a slim USB labeled in green tape, greenhouse. Footsteps. Ruth Kim, salt and pepper hair, steady eyes, appears with a tray. I kept the house 20 years, she says, setting tea and a plate of lemon loaf. Friend when they let me be. I lay the journal on the desk. The first page I turn to holds Nana's neat script. Victor came for coffee. Left with a check. Bernard says to keep peace. I say peace without boundaries is just silence. Nora's knock is quick and sure. Locks rechecked. She surveys the journal, the drive, the tea. Good, she says. We start here. Tonight they'll push. Tomorrow they'll escalate. But you are not alone. I untie the ribbon. The pages are a map of small, precise truths. The drive on the desk is a fuse we haven't lit. Pop taught me to fix what can be fixed and name what can't. I close my hand around the scarf once, then let it rest on the chair. When I finally click greenhouse, whatever is planted there will either take root or burn the weeds clean. Either way, daylight's coming. Nora plugs the USB into Pop's desktop. The first clip opens on a rainy afternoon 6 weeks before Nana died. Water stars the panes. Tomato vines climb twine. Celeste steps in first, cream coat, no hood. Victor follows, folder under arm, shoes too dry for the weather. Dylan lags, hoodie up, shoulders hunched. Audio is crisp. Tell the doctor you're worried about her memory. Mom coaches Dylan, aligning a spray bottle so it faces the lens. Family observations matter. Victor taps the folder. She signs the durable power, we move the accounts. Simple. Dylan bites his lip. What if she says no? She won't understand, Dad replies. Be gentle, keep talking. The door opens again. Nana wipes her hands on a towel. You three look like the forecast, she says. Storm fog and a little hail. She kisses Dylan's cheek. What do you need? Mom offers papers. Doctor's recommendation, Mama. Just formalities. Nana reads the first page, face unchanged. This gives Victor control of our accounts. Temporarily, Dad says, until you're stronger. Nana folds the page twice and slides it into her pocket. I'm Edie Clear, she says. Come again with this and I'll bring company. She sees Mom's confusion. An attorney. She squeezes Dylan's sleeve. Don't learn the wrong lesson from this. The clip ends. We sit with the echo of Edie Clear. Nora exhales slow. This establishes capacity and intent. It also documents interference. She opens Greenhouse 2 through 4. In one, Dad tours the living room with a stranger while Pop is in hospice naming prices. In another, Mom pockets spoons for inspiration photos. The pantry clip catches Dylan counting wine into his notes. The last shows Nana watering basil, narrating a shopping list in detail. Clear voice, clear mind. Anger spreads in me like steady heat, no flare, just a setting concrete. Ruth sets my tea down, steady hands. Now you see why she labeled it greenhouse, she says. Truth needs warmth and glass. Nora flips to a legal template. Immediate tasks, emergency injunctions, account freezes where needed, lock changes, and a communication wall. Every contact from your family goes through me. Also, the board at Reyes Harbor Logistics hereafter RHL needs notice before Victor tries anything. Board, I ask. Tomas nods. Bernard added 3 outside directors last year when he took sick. He asked my opinion on 2. He looks almost shy. He trusted people who did the work. Nora dials and puts Camila Seo, RHL's CFO, on speaker. Camilla's voice is clipped awake. I've been expecting this, she says. 2 clients forwarded emails from a Victor Reyes asking to move their contracts. We did not reply. Come by, Nora says. 20 minutes, Camilla answers. Ruth, listening, says, come hungry because she is Ruth. While we wait, I open Nana's leather journal to an entry addressed to me. Mara, if you're reading it, means we chose a hard kindness. Protect the drivers, protect the house, tell the truth without theater. When you can rest. The bell rings light, not a pound. Tomas checks cameras and admits a lanky teen with a bike helmet. I'm Eli Navarro, he says when he sees me. I mowed for Edie. My aunt found this under the hydrangeas. He hands me Mom's mother-of-pearl brooch pin, bent dirt clinging in the clasp. Also, the night after the service, I saw lights. Your mom and Dylan at the back. They carried a box. Nora thanks him, notes the time, photographs the brooch, and logs his statement without making him feel like an exhibit. Ruth wraps lemon loaf in foil for the witness, and Eli leaves a little taller. Camilla arrives with a calm that steadies the table. Navy sweater hair in a blunt bob, no jewelry. She opens a slim laptop and projects a one-pager on the dining room wall. Operations are sound, she says. Modest debt from the cold storage expansion. Winter contracts covered it. Our exposure is reputational. If Victor spooks clients, drivers get nervous. We need a message out this week from you. Me, I ask. You're the legal successor and the moral one, Nora says. Use both. Camilla scrolls. Also, I found a wire template created 2 days ago using Dylan's admin credentials. It points to a sham vendor, Harbor Safety LLC, routing to a Nevada holding company. No money moved. Policy blocked execution. My stomach drops. How did he have admin right? Camilla doesn't flinch. Last year, Dylan interned in dispatch/IT for 8 weeks. His elevated access should have been revoked. It wasn't. That's on us. I've corrected it and opened an internal audit. The door swings again. A woman in a yellow raincoat enters, wiping her glasses with her sleeve. Addison Pike, Bluefin Seafood, she says. Bernard saved us in the 19 strike. I heard noise, wanted the source. She unfolds a sheet transfer of authority bearing a shaky cut and paste of Nana's signature dated 3 weeks after she died. Camilla enlarges the PDF. Pixel edges break at the S. We didn't bite, Addison says. But others might. Send me a sentence we can post on our doc board. 2 tops, I say. RHL is operational. Contracts honored. Any new management calls are fraudulent. Questions to Camila. She nods. That'll do. A Monterey officer appears, hat tucked under his arm. Anonymous tip about safety violations, he explains. We'll inspect belts and reefers. Coffee, Camila asks. If it's not from 1992, he deadpans and the room lightens. Outside, he twists a strap and reveals thin razor scores. Not visible until stressed. He photographs bag samples and takes statements. Tomas pulls cloud video from midnight. A hooded figure moves along the fence with a crooked right foot swing, Dylan's old ankle break. The officer doesn't name him. He writes suspect known investigation opened and says a detective will follow up. It shifts from family mess to potential crime with a line of ink. Back inside, we record a 2-minute staff message. I look into the lens. I'm Mara. I ate bread in Edie's kitchen and rode trucks with Bernard when I could be trusted with a seatbelt. The company is steady. The work is the work. Rumors go to Camila. Yard concerns go to Tomas. If you need to talk, come find me. We won't confuse noise with truth. Camila sends it to every inbox and pins it in break rooms. By late afternoon, 3 clients confirm support. 1 requests a site visit, another admits Victor pitched priority routing. Camila builds a tracker who received calls, who wavered, who needs reassurance. Patterns matter. Ruth texts from the attic. Found a box labeled, in case of Victor. Bring Nora. We gather at the desk. Inside loan notes, dates, printed emails with headers circled a ledger with a red ribbon. Pop's block letters on page 1, Harbor shares distributed via employee trust. Any transfer outside trust void unless signed by Edie and me in blue ink, witnessed by 2 non-family managers, recorded within 10 days. Camila exhales. That clause alone sandbags any backroom move. Nora arrives with filings, reads, and nods. Chain of custody copies made. Court in the morning if they move, and they will. I add 1 sentence under Nana's last journal line, choose honesty and build new peace. I'm trying. Outside, fog beads on glass like punctuation. Inside the map is clear locks, filings, calls, names. Night will bring shadows to the fence. Morning brings docks and people who keep this place moving. Tomorrow I go shake hands at Pier 12. I'll bring burritos. I'll bring names. I'll bring the truth we can prove. Sun lifts the fog off Cannery Road like a curtain. I knot Nana's scarf once, not for warmth, for nerve. Camila pulls up, slides me a breakfast burrito, and passes a pen. Protein and signatures, she says. Drivers respect both. Pier 12 smells like diesel and brine. Backup beepers chirp. Gulls argue on the roof. Dispatch sits in a low blue building. A whiteboard lists routes and dry erase. I start with names. Morning, Lisette, Mateo, Armin. I hand out foil-wrapped burritos. I'm Mara. Bernard and Edie's granddaughter. I'm here to keep pay on time and trucks on the road. Tension eases by millimeters. Are you driving or bossing? Asks Big Joe, who is ironically small and radiant. Listening first, I say. Driving if needed. Camila projects a 1-page plan. Routes unchanged. Pay unchanged. Accounts secured. If you get calls about new management, route them to me. She points at her number. Direct line. Lisette raises a hand. Victor called last night. Wanted client lists. Anything in writing? Camila asks. Lisette slides over her phone. We capture the log and forward it to Nora with 2 words, pattern documented. Armin leans on a pallet jack. There's a group online to protect the Reyes heritage. Looks like Dylan started it. They're posting photos of the house and hinting the company's unstable. I write the handle down. A silly name in ink, a useful exhibit in court. We move through the yard. I ask what breaks, what works, what never gets fixed. Answers are practical. A lift gate sticks, a coffee pot died. Truck 17's radio hisses and only finds pastor stations. I note everything. Small fixes add up to respect. A white sedan idles near the fence. The driver looks away too quickly. Tomas appears at my elbow like he grew from concrete. Same dent as yesterday, he murmurs. I photograph the plate and keep moving. Not every truth needs a scene. Inside, Camila frowns at her screen. Found it, she says, rotating the laptop. A wire template built 2 days ago with Dylan's admin credentials. Destination is a Nevada holding company disguised as a vendor. Policy blocked execution. How did he still have admin, I ask, heat rising. Because last year he interned in dispatch/IT and our offboarding failed, Camila answers. I've revoked access and opened an audit. That's on me. No defensiveness, just a fix. The bell jangles. Addison Pike steps in, yellow raincoat dripping. She slides a forged transfer with a pasted Edith signature across the counter. We didn't fall for it, she says, but others might. Give me 2 sentences for our doc board. RHL is fully operational. Contracts honored. Any new management calls are fraudulent. Questions to Camilla. She nods. Perfect. A Monterey officer arrives on an anonymous tip. He checks belts and seals. At truck 12, he twists a strap. Razor scores flash. He photographs and bags it. Tomas pulls midnight footage, a hooded figure along the fence with a crooked right foot swing Dylan's old ankle. The officer keeps his face neutral. I'm opening a criminal mischief tampering case, he says. A detective will contact you. It stops being just family drama. It becomes a file number. We record a 2-minute video for staff. I look into the lens. I grew up eating bread in Edie's kitchen and riding with Bernard when he trusted me to sit still. RHL is steady. If rumors find you, send them to Camila. If the yard looks wrong, tell Tomas. If you need me, I'm at the docks or the house. We will not confuse noise with truth. Camila pushes it to every inbox and pins it on the break room screen where weather used to hum. By noon, 3 clients double down with us. One asks for a visit, another confesses Victor promised priority routing. Camila logs calls, color codes, risk drafts, reassurance notes. Patterns then plans. At 2, Ruth texts, in case of Victor box, come now. We lock up and drive back. The fog has burned off. On the porch, Eli waits, nervous. 2 guys were at the back fence, he says. They ran when I showed up. One dropped this. He hands me a blue nitrile glove. Inside sits a tiny GPS tag. Tomas tweezers it into an evidence bag. We'll scan trucks, he says, see what they tried to follow. In the study, Ruth sets a banker's box on the desk. Nana's handwriting on the lid is precise in case of Victor. Inside, loan notes, dates, printed emails with headers circled, an inventory of missing items by room with day and hour noted, and a black ledger with a red ribbon. Pop's first entry, 1998 Harbor shares distributed via employee trust. Any transfer outside trust is void unless signed by Edie and me in blue ink, witnessed by 2 non-family managers, recorded within 10 days. Camilla exhales. That clause is a wall. Nora arrives with filings and coffee. She reads the ledger bags, the GPS tag, photographs the box's contents, and drafts affidavits. They'll file for a freeze tomorrow, she says. We oppose, we bring the greenhouse and the ledger. We let procedure do its work. My phone buzzes Dylan. I don't pick up. His voicemail trembles. I didn't cut all the way through. Dad said we'd be safe. I'm in over my head. He hangs up without asking for anything. It's almost a confession, almost an excuse. We end the night with lists. Nora filing subpoenas for the template logs. Camila client letters, internal audit revoke stale accounts. Tomas restrap scan for tags, pull more clips. Ruth itemize returned silver label store. Me meet drivers, show up, steady speak plain. At 3 a.m., the camera pings. Tomas texts first cat not crook with a clip of the neighbor's orange Tom squeezing the gate. I laugh into the pillow, grateful to laugh at anything. By dawn, I'm in a clean shirt ledger and a canvas bag, scarf knotted once. Friday is coming. The courtroom will be cold. Dad will be warmer than he's ever been. Mom will look breakable. Dylan will study the floor. We have one job: show proof, not performance. Time to do it. The courthouse smells like dust and old toner. Nora stacks our exhibits, ledger, affidavits, photos in clear sleeves. Camilla sits behind us, hands still. Tomas and Ruth take the second row. Eli perches at the end, sneakers quiet. I knot Nana's scarf and keep my hands folded. Judge Harlan Chen reviews Victor's emergency petition claims of diminished capacity, undue influence, family destabilization. The words rattle like loose bolts in a hub. Nora rises. We oppose the freeze. The decedent's capacity and intent are documented on video and paper. Attempts at interference are also documented. She clicks the monitor. Greenhouse 1 plays. Mom's sweetness curdles under courtroom lights. Dad's smoothness thins. Nana's Edie clear lands clean. Victor watches without blinking. Celeste dabs the same eye. Dylan keeps his hands in his pockets. Nora calls witnesses. Addison identifies the forged transfer and confirms Bluefin refused it. Camilla explains the blocked wire template built with Dylan's admin credentials and routes, then how policy kept funds in place. The Monterey officer describes razor-scored straps and introduces photos. He does not name Dylan. He doesn't need to. The gate is in the evidence. Tomas explains keys, cameras, and a crooked right step he's seen since Dylan's ankle break at 17. Ruth reads the blue ink clause from the ledger and outlines board protocol requiring non-family witnesses. She studies once and goes on. Facts stack no heat. Victor's attorney objects often. Judge Chen sustains some, overrules others, and trims rhetoric. Who, when, where he asks pen rapid. Nora calls me. I swear in. The mic pops. Why oppose a freeze, Ms. Quinn, the judge asks. Because freezes punish the wrong people, I say. Drivers, port workers, A freeze turns rumors into reality. We can protect the estate and keep the company operating. Do you benefit personally from operations? Yes, I answer. So do 112 employees and a coastline that eats in winter. Nora plays our 2-minute staff clip. I look ordinary on courthouse glass. That feels right. Victor's attorney paces. You're a school counselor. What do you know about freight? Routes, schedules, people, I say. I know a stalling story from a request for help. I know the difference. Did you influence your grandparent? No, I say. The camera doesn't care who I am. Their words match their paperwork. He pivots. Your brother says you're unstable. Then he should be glad I'm surrounded by people who tell me no, I say, nodding to Nora, Camilla, Ruth, Tomas. Good governance is hearing no. Enough, Judge Chen says, not unkindly. He reads again, pen tapping. Outside fog thins to sun. Petition denied, he rules. Temporary protective orders remain. All family contact goes through counsel. Any attempt to alter accounts or interfere with operations may result in contempt and immediate remand. A full hearing on capacity and intent is set 30 days from today. Until then, Ms. Quinn remains executor and beneficiary per the will. He meets my eyes. Do not mistake this for victory. It is procedure. Do the job. Yes, Your Honor. He turns to Victor. Mr. Reyes, if another forged signature crosses my docket, we will address it as criminal, not civil. Air leaves the room. My legs shake when I sit. Ruth squeezes my shoulder. Camilla emails the stamped order to dispatch before we reach the aisle. On the steps, microphones bud like mushrooms. No comment, Nora says, for us both. Someone shouts, Mara, are you tearing your family apart? I keep walking. Proof answers better than sound bites. On the drive home, Dylan's voicemail arrives. I didn't know he'd paste her name, he says. I didn't cut all the way through the straps. He swallows. I'm in over my head. He doesn't ask for anything. He doesn't apologize. At the house, work closes around us. We draft client letters. Camilla schedules a staff town hall for Monday. Tomas replaces every strap that tested weak and scans trucks for tags. Ruth checks returned items against her inventory sheet, noting serial scratches only she would remember. Nora files formal notices and CCs the order to anyone who needs policy, not persuasion. At 9, the gate camera pings. A lone figure at the intercom, Dylan, no hoodie, no swagger, a banker's box in his arms. I meet him on the steps. Porch light makes his eyes look younger. I'm not coming in, he says. He sets the box down, steps back. Inside spoons 2 framed photos, 3 small things that matter only to us. I didn't tell them I'm here. Okay. I'll sign about the template and the forged transfer, he says. I can't about the straps. I froze. I'm sorry. He stares at the rosemary. He said if I helped, we'd be safe. Safe from what? From being cut off, he says. Turns out the cutting went the other way. Send your statement to Nora tonight, I say. She'll protect you. He nods. You look steady. I'm tired, I say. Sometimes that helps. He half smiles. Tell Pop I fixed the oil leak on truck 17, he says, and flinches at his own mistake. I know. He vanishes into dark. Inside, Ruth logs each returned item. Tomas seals the box. Camilla thanks Addison by email with a copy of the order. Nora texts, heard about Dylan. Good. Keep records. I sit in the greenhouse with the journal. Glass holds the day's heat. In the reflection, a woman in a scarf looks like she belongs to her choices. Tomorrow we request mediation. Not because I expect repair, because decency belongs in the record before we close the door. I lock up, kill the lights, and hear the house settle like a ship finding harbor. Procedure, then peace, in that order. The mediator's office sits above a hardware store that still sells screws by the ounce. Retired Monterey Police Chief Ana Morales greets us with a grip like a winter tide. Ground rules, she says. No shouting, no threats. Facts on the table, choices on paper. Agree today or the court draws your lines. Victor arrives in Navy. Celeste wears gray and practiced remorse. Dylan comes alone. Nora starts. Our proposal: return everything taken. Cease contact outside counsel. Accept a modest conditional trust. No board seat. No access to operating accounts. In exchange, we won't pursue criminal charges for theft, attempted fraud, or interference. The separate tampering investigation is the police department's, not ours. Victor scoffs. You jail your father. I'd enforce the law, Nora says. Mara will enforce boundaries. Celeste reaches for softness. Sweetheart, this can be graceful. Ruth's inventory sits between us, each item checked as it returned. Tomas's photos show scored straps. Camilla's chart traces the blocked wire. Dylan clears his throat. I'll sign, he says, voice thin. Return what I took. Make a statement. I don't want the trust. I want out. He doesn't look at Victor. Son, Victor begins. No, Dylan says, not loud, just final. Anna's gaze moves to Victor. Your move. He leans back, eyes on the ceiling. You're killing your lineage over a grudge, he tells me. We built that company. Edie and Bernard built it, I say. You borrowed it for parties. Celeste tries a last angle. The community believes me. They watch the greenhouse, Camilla says. They believe their eyes. The room quiets like tide pulling out. Anna slides the agreement forward. Victor scans pen tapping a dinner table rhythm from my childhood. He signs hard enough to dent the next page. Celeste signs with a flourish like a logo. Dylan signs small. Anna notarizes. You have 72 hours to return remaining items, she says. Breach the order, the offer collapses. Victor stands. The harbor remembers who feeds them, he says. They do, I answer, and that's why we're here. On the sidewalk, he lingers. Families that split don't heal, he warns, almost gentle. Some wounds shouldn't close over lies, I say. They rot. He shakes his head and walks away. Celeste follows without looking back. Dylan stays. I'm going to Aunt May's, he says. Marina work. Night classes. I need to be poor on purpose. When you're ready, email Camilla for a junior dispatch slot, I say. Not because you're my brother, because you know the roots. Relief flickers. Okay, he says. Back at the house we work. Tomas and Eli sweep the attic. Ruth checks Nana's china against her list. Camilla drafts an internal memo, what happened, what's protected, what's next. Nora files the signed consent order and Dylan's statement. She forwards the officer's report number so no one forgets this part has its own track. That night, I walk the yard alone. Metal cools. Harbor air tastes like diesel and salt. At truck 17, a note sits under the wiper pop's block letters from years ago, rescued from a drawer and moved by time. Check your straps. I laugh and cry in one breath. Doing it, I tell the dark. 72 hours pass. A plain box arrives with the last missing pieces. No note, which is a note. Anna texts, consent order entered. I'll testify if they breach. Procedure holds. We still prepare for the 30-day hearing Judge Chen set because you don't relax into wet cement. We compile clean binders, label exhibits, confirm chain of custody. No gloating, just work. On Sunday, I plant basil seeds in the greenhouse soil and label the row, a simple act that says staying. Monday's town hall fills the freezer warehouse with jacketed bodies and coffee steam. Camilla opens with numbers, steady cash flow audit complete, safeguards tightened. I follow with names and plans. Profit-sharing expansion safety bonuses, the Edie and Bernard Fund for trade scholarships tied to the company's future. Applause rises like tide and then steadies. Big Joe wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. Lisette flashes me a V less victory than we see. After a woman I don't know stops me. I spring-cleaned your grandmother's house, she says. She made me mint tea from the garden. She'd like this. I hope so, I say. That afternoon, a glossy firm sends a disinvite to a gala wrapped in courtesy word. I set it in the compost with citrus rinds and coffee grounds. Fertilizer beats pretense. We close the quarter in black ink. Camila brings sparkling cider. Tomas toasts with paper cups. Ruth says, eat like a prayer, and presses lemon loaf into our hands. At dusk, Eli asks if he can take shop class and work part-time. School first, I say. We'll make it fit. The rosemary in the yard holds its shape in the wind. Nora texts, you did the job. It lands warm and heavy earned. Lines drawn in wet cement need time. You guard them from scuffs and storms until they cure. Then you stop tiptoeing and walk on what you built. We're almost there. 30 days slip by, busy and ordinary. The second hearing is quick. Judge Chen reviews clean binders and doctor's letters stating what the greenhouse videos already showed Edie and Bernard were lucid and precise when they signed. He affirms the will, enters the consent order, and closes the case. No flourish, just stamps and dates. Victor doesn't meet my eyes. Celeste dabs the same eye out of habit. Dylan sits beside Aunt May, shoulders down. On the way out, he lifts 2 fingers. Enough. Life finds a rhythm that isn't old but feels right. Most mornings, I'm back in my counseling office by 7:30. The brass plate reads, Mara Quinn, student counselor. It still matters most. Between students, I sign invoices, read dispatch notes, answer 1 or 2 calls only I should take. Camila runs operations. Tomas runs the yard. Ruth runs the house. I run toward quiet where I can. We launched the Edie and Bernard Fund with trades Pop would have loved, CDL training, marine tech, refrigeration welding. First recipients tour the yard with wide eyes and clipboards. We plant a small cedar for each scholarship along the fence where grass never took. Eli digs holes with care. He got the part-time slot and keeps his grades up because Ruth appears at exactly the right moments with a raised eyebrow and a sandwich. Profit sharing expands and starts to feel baked in. We add a safety bonus tied to weekly strap checks. A scar should make you smarter. Truck 17's radio still hisses, but now it finds a station with weather and jazz compromise Pop would have liked. Bluefin prints our statement on their board. 2 clients renew early. A new bakery on Lighthouse asks if we can handle dawn deliveries. We can. The house quiets. Inventory complete. Greenhouse breathing. Basil sprouts. Rosemary just holds. Grief moves its furniture from the middle of the room to the wall. It still lives here, it just stops blocking the door. Not everyone adjusts. A glossy magazine runs a sympathy piece on estranged heiresses using a photo of Celeste at a gala chin lifted. I don't read it. Ruth shreds it before I get home. Tomas frames a snapshot of Pop in a beanie instead and hangs it in the kitchen. Problem solved. Dylan texts coffee. He shows up in a Marina hoodie hair. Shorter, eyes clearer. Night classes, he says, embarrassed and proud. Spreadsheets. Ship scheduling. Patterns make sense when you're not gambling. I'm glad I say. The door to honest work is heavy at first. Then it swings. He looks at his hands. I can't undo what I did, but I cannot do it again. That's a start. I ask him to tell the strap story at the next safety meeting. He winces, then nods. Okay. Celeste calls once. I let it go to voicemail. Sweetheart, I miss my daughter. I'm very ill, she says. Nora checks. She isn't. We send one sentence through counsel. We wish you health. Boundaries remain. A month later, Victor emails Camilla requesting a tour to mend fences. She forwards it to Nora. Nora returns the consent order with a line highlighted. No commentary. Procedure is a language he understands even if he hates it. One crisp morning, I carry the ledger to the greenhouse and lay it by the basil. The red ribbon is frayed. I add a page in my messy hand, profit sharing expanded. Safety bonus added. Fund launched. House intact, not legal, a family record. We host the first scholarship ceremony in the yard, not a ballroom folding chairs between pallets, string lights overhead, Ruth's lemon loaf on paper plates. Families clap like church. Camilla speaks 3 minutes perfect. Tomas melts into the back row, content to watch. Eli drives by on a forklift with a bow tied to the roll cage and everybody laughs. I keep my remarks short. This place runs because you show up in bad weather, I tell the crew. Edie and Bernard built it that way. We'll keep building, teach what we know, and protect what protects us. Applause rises and settles like tide on rocks. I stand a moment longer by the pallets feeling peace that doesn't come from winning. It comes from staying. By Tuesday, a sophomore slides into my counseling office and whispers that her parents use money like a leash. They say I'll fail if I don't obey. You might fail sometimes, I say. People do. But you'll fail yourself if you hand them your map. I give her resources, legal aid therapists, a boundary worksheet Nora helped me write. Define family by behavior, not claims. Lock one door. See how the room changes. She leaves a fraction taller. I sit a while after grateful my two worlds don't fight each other anymore. At sunset, I walk the dock road home. The air tastes like salt and bread from the new bakery. Gulls stitch sky to water with messy white thread. The bungalow glows through cypress. Inside the lamp by Nana's chair makes a circle of gold. The scarf lies folded on the arm, not clenched in my fist. I open the journal's back and write a question for whoever comes next. When it was your turn to hold the line, did you? The house breathes. The harbor hums. Somewhere a truck shifts into gear headed up the hill with fish on ice and a driver whose name I know. Pop used to say the bay keeps its own time. He was right. It doesn't ask permission to rise, it just does. So did we.